Good morning. I was going to call this a stressful ramble, a stramble, if you will. But there's a lot of folks right now that are in more dire circumstances than I am, so I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. So we'll just call it a developing situation. In my Missouri Meerschaum legend, which is overexposed, hang on, there we go. I am smoking Tsuge's Gunjin, named after the samurai god of developing situations. This is not my favorite tobacco. I think it's quality leaf. It has a little bit of... Okay, so I'll read you the tin description. No, I won't. It's too long. Virginia's Orientals, a touch of black Cavendish, complements this naturally sweet and aromatic blend that dances off your tongue. I think that's a little much. It doesn't really dance off my tongue. Enjoyment, devotion, or reverence. A smoke worthy of the ritual. I'm not going to revere your tobacco. I'm sorry. It's not even animate. It's you get what I'm saying. So I think they might be reaching a little bit on the tin description there, but it's a very pretty tin. I just find that it doesn't quite have the body that I expect. I think Virginia's can be a pretty thin, they can make for pretty thin blends when you rely too heavily on them, especially when mixed with Orientals, because it's like Virginias don't have a lot of body, and then the Orientals kind of sit on top with all the spiciness. So I would hope that the black Cavendish would sort of come around and fill in the base notes, but it doesn't. It doesn't. I think that, again, I go back to Stockaby's Luxury Bullseye Flake. For that is the quintessential Virginia's with Cavendish blend, and if you'll notice, the Cavendish is a pretty significant part of that. And if you look at this tobacco, I don't even know why we're talking about this, because this is not why I'm making this video. If you look at this tobacco, I don't think there's a lot of black Cavendish in that. Like, yeah, there's some, but it's mostly, it looks darker on the camera than it does in life. It's smaller Cavendish content than the Stockaby's for sure. Tin note is delicious though. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going with it. It's okay. It's just okay. All right, let's move on. It's a very stressful time. Hurricane Florence is barreling toward us. I am not on the coast. I am in North Carolina. I'm not on the coast. I have family and folks that are dear to me that are on the coasts of both North and South Carolina, and it looks like they're gonna get wrecked. This storm is bad. This is a bad storm, and this is from a guy who grew up with storms being a very integral and fun part of my life. Honestly, when I look back on it, I have very fond memories of the terrible situations that we found ourselves in. I don't know what, it's like when you're a kid, you look back on that time that Hurricane Hugo came and just like completely fucking wrecked your town, and you're like, oh, that was pretty fun. Actually, I didn't have to go to school for a week. There was no electricity. We were camping out the whole time. Like, that was great. Meanwhile, everyone, all the adults were like totally stressed out. It probably took years off their life, the stress of it. Some people actually lost their lives and their houses, but I was a kid. I was having a good time. So, I have this weird relationship with these kinds of situations. And but a lot of people have been asking, and to answer your questions, we are going to be fine here from the storm. The storm is not going to bother us that much. We're probably going to get a whole lot of rain. There's probably going to be some flooding. We do not live in a floodplain. If my house floods, it's an arc situation. We might lose power. We might lose water. We're prepped for those things. I'm not worried about it. I am worried about our fellow people, and by our, I mean all of our fellow people on the coast of the Carolinas. Those are, the places like Charleston and Hilton Head and Wilmington. Those places get the news coverage. But what concerns me is that the coastal Carolinas outside of the tourist destinations are some of the poorest places in the country. Yeah, I mean, I think that's true. They're very poor. They're very poor places, and there's a lot of people living in substandard housing, and a lot of people don't have the resources to evacuate. And shit's about to get real for them. And I don't make predictions, especially not about acts of God, but I think that I think this is going to be a bad one. I do have family down east. They know what they're in for. They are going to be okay. They have been devastated by hurricanes in the past. We'll probably get devastated by this one. It's just kind of a fact of life where they are. They're certainly, I wouldn't say prepared, but they are. It's like they're used to it at this point. Every now and then a big storm just comes and wipes your life out. I also have people in the evac zones, and I believe there is a strong likelihood that they will indeed evac, and that's good. Even though a large part of me wants to go into the storm and be there when it. But that part of me is messed up. A lot of folks are asking about my prepping strategy since we've been talking about it on the channel, about my readiness strategy for situations like this, and I just made a video about it. So that'll be coming out soon. Honestly, what's freaking me out right now is not the storm. There's a couple of situations that are developing. Number one is my work situation is off the hook. It's off the hook, and I've talked about this recently. And you guys have seen me make some rather strained videos recently, and the reason is that I've been running a part-time business for 3 years because of my kid, and I can't afford to do that anymore. Like as in things need to change quickly for our standard of living to remain at its low but tolerable point. And I don't have the time to make a change, and it's really stressing me out. It's really like finding it hard to breathe sometimes, stressful. And so that's a thing, and preschool, which is generally going well, isn't going to help this week much. We went to preschool yesterday, but it's not going to help for the rest of the week because kiddo has 102.5 degree fever. So he's going to be home, right? The only reason I'm able to make this video right now is that my wife has graciously given me a couple of hours this morning to myself, and I made myself not work because I have been working my ass off. It has been a week since I have taken other than to record the Sunday Antisocial. It has been a week since I've taken any moments to myself, and I'm feeling the effects. I'm worried about kiddo only because we do have this storm coming in. So I want him to get better before it comes in, and I'm hoping it's just a cold. Seems to be just a cold. I guess other things it could be would be the flu, but he really doesn't seem that bad off. 102.5 is like nothing for a kid. Scares the hell out of me, right? But the the doctor's like, yeah, that's nothing. So they don't even like worry until it's 105, I think, and then they're like, yeah, okay, you might want to make an appointment. So, but those of you who are parents will understand that when your kid is sick, that's a situation, and it's scary. So lots of deep breaths. The fun part is that I'm shooting a wedding this weekend. It's an outdoor wedding with 300 guests. And I'm likely going to be sick because my kid's sick today, right? Today is Wednesday. He was sick all day yesterday. So that means I'm going to be getting this about Friday. I'll be in the throes of it on Saturday when I'll be standing in the rain and the mud shooting an outdoor wedding. I don't want to complain when people are getting ready to like lose their houses and shit like that, but I'm not looking forward to it. It's crazy here. People, even though we're 300 miles inland and for the large part, totally fine. The shelves are bare in the stores, or they were yesterday at lunchtime. I'm sure they've gotten some shipments in. Lines are going back into the aisles from the registers, that sort of thing. I went just to sort of top off our preps, and I regretted it. I should have just stayed home because I didn't need anything bad enough to deal with that. Especially with a sick kid. Be not afraid. Your Sunday video is still on schedule. I still plan to put one out. I'll be wearing the same clothes that I'm wearing today and that I was wearing in the last Sunday video because I haven't had time to wash my clothes or take a shower. Just kidding. I'm a pretty fastidiously clean person, but I I like to put my smoky clothes back on, which is why yeah. So anyway, Sunday video should be on schedule. Or I might have to do a dispatch from the mud field that this wedding is going to be. So that's the news, and that's the ramble. And this tobacco is, it's fine. Okay. Tsuge, Gunjin. Would anyone like the rest of this tin? I'll send it to you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being concerned about me. You don't need to. We're fine. Be concerned about people that are closer to the storm and don't have the resources to prepare for it. Yeah, it's going to be rough, y'all. So I will see you Sunday, if not before, and I'm going to go edit these videos. Probably try to take a walk or something before I'm back on child rearing duty. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.